And welcome back to the Perky Collar Radio Show. My guest today is Jim DeBetta, and we were just talking about the importance of finding a mentor and what Jim does for We Know Business. So, Jim, let's get back to our interview and understand a little bit about your background. What businesses have you started? What products you brought to market? Give us a little sense of your history a little bit. So those who are looking for a mentor maybe would love to hire you as their consultant.
No, I appreciate that. Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, I was in the sport optics business, which I started years ago, and ran that business very successfully. And we sold our products to just about every major retailer, in the United States, Europe, Australia, even like places like China and Japan. After doing that for many years, I've worked with big brands and inventors alike, brands, everyone from Toshiba and Canon to everyday household products, people that people see out in stores. Way too many to list, but products that get placed every single day that you go into any Walmart or Target, Costco, Walgreens, any of those stores will find endless array of products. Products like Magic Jack and Cactus Jack and some of these other ones that were very big on infomercials. Dipe and Go. There's so many that that have been successful in the marketplace. Most of those companies started by individuals who left a different career and got into the world of product and inventing.
That's excellent. I mean, obviously, to have the ability to get products into all those stores is quite a journey, and it's nice if you have a clear cut path to get those done. You have the contacts. That makes a big difference. Saves you a lot of trouble and saves you years of challenges. Do you feel like a lot of those big box stores want to wait for proof of concept, or if it's a great idea, they're ready to launch right away?
I mean, no. If they see the value in it, and they see that it could be trendy or just something that's missing or something that's exciting and new, no, they'll absolutely jump on it. They don't always have to see proof of concept. I mean, there are some occasions, depending on the product category, where the retailer may want to see it have some smaller local success, but typically, they'll pick up on something that something that seems appealing to them. So
that's excellent. Is there any recommendations you can make if someone doesn't necessarily want to get into the big box stores just yet, but maybe some of the paths you'd recommend to just get some exposure to some of those maybe small stores or just in general, maybe some local shows or anything you recommend as being successful from some of your previous clients?
Yeah, I think that there's no one thing that somebody should do. I think they have to try a lot of things. I definitely think selling your product locally is always helpful because you get to see what changes might be needed or how you can improve the product. Because you're able to go face to face with people. Definitely doing trade shows or even local fairs are always a great way to get exposure and some experience selling. Selling your products online. Obviously integrating social media. Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. A lot of different social venues where you can expose your product online. So it's definitely it's a lot of different things that add up to the sum of making the product successful.
Makes sense. Is there one social media you feel is more superior or more effective for a product-based invention or a product-based business?
Yeah, Facebook is definitely the best place. Hundreds of millions of users, more than 1 billion users. That's where things seem to be in the product world anyway. So if you could pick one place, that's where I would be.
So you feel Facebook's the best. Is there a second best? Do you feel Instagram's a player too, or do you feel it's more for just awareness? But Facebook is the owner?
Well, obviously, Instagram's owned by Facebook. So if you're on one, you can integrate with the other, and you should. Twitter's not really a platform, I don't think. Pinterest, depending on what it is, but I don't think as much on Pinterest as it is. Those two, LinkedIn, from a professional standpoint, is a good place. If you especially want to network with a lot of retail buyers or other professionals, that's a big place.
And do you feel it with Facebook continue to change the logarithms? Is it harder now or easier now, or what has been your experience with the Facebook ads and the Facebook itself? Jim, can you still hear me? Oh, I lost you for a second. Jim?
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Okay, we lost you for a second. I apologize. I was asking about Facebook ads with the new logarithms. Has it changed? Has it become easier or harder? Or what is your advice on using Facebook?
Well, again, I think the biggest thing is to be there. You need to be on, and you need to be on regularly, and then you got to create groups and pages, and you got to engage people, and have people come to your page or group and use it. And it just takes daily interaction, and over time you build up a following and an audience, and then you can start running ads and attempt to sell your product or market it. But you got to have a decent following, but you got to be on there regularly to build it.
That makes sense. So in other words, step one, don't just start running Facebook ads. Step one is to build an audience, have some great creative content, engaging content. And then from there, once you have, what do you think is a good number to get started with? Do you think 100, 500, 1,000? What do you think is a good number of followers you're doing?
I don't know if there's a specific number. I think it's more about quality than quantity. I mean, you could have, 100, followers that are good quality, or you could have 1,000 that are, garbage, so to speak. And,
sure.
But I think you just got to try to engage people that have similar interest in what your product is, or just in products in general. People that can act as brand ambassadors. So there are people that are interested in products, and maybe they don't want your product or need it, but can certainly share it with other people that then they're influencers. So I think that's more important than just having a lot of people that aren't relevant, so to speak.
I think that's a great point. I always find that if you can find some raving fans for your brand, it goes a long way.
Exactly.
Those raving fans, to me, is step one. Even if it's 5 raving fans, you get 5 raving fans that share everything you do or love talking about you, and just constantly post pictures of themselves with your product or share testimonials, go on Amazon, go on your social media, go on Google and do reviews. Those raving fans, to me, is such a crucial component. So I believe that 100%.
Yep, absolutely.
The hard part is, how do you find those raving fans? Where are they hiding?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's hard to find them, but if you're doing enough on there, people will come, people will follow you, will share it. The right people will come along eventually, I think.
And what do you say to people that say, social media, it's, I'm 40s, 50s, this is not my thing. I feel like I'm having to be too transparent, or I feel like I'm having to tell too much of my personal life. Is there any advice you can give to some of those people that understand Facebook's important, they understand it's a great way to build awareness, but man, they're I wouldn't say scared, but they're kind of intimidated to put so much on social media. They're worried about, their family being, being too transparent or too visible to the community. I mean, is there any comforting words you can give to them as far as, hey, you're building a business, your life needs to be pretty open? Or what kind of advice could you give to people that are kind of hesitant to put so much on social media?
Yeah, well, I mean, Facebook, like all social media sites, they have a lot of good safety controls and, methods to, keep what you don't want on there and available. And, you also have the ability to, if somebody goes on your group, your business group, and, comments, I mean, you can have to pre-approve comments. And, there's a lot of controls to make it so you could be as visible or, invisible as you like. And if you just stick to the product offering and talk about that, then you're fine. You don't have to share personal information or give up any personal information. So there's really no worry about things like that these days. Yeah.
So it's all about the settings. Do a business page, focus on the business page. Don't worry about your personal page.
Exactly right.
I know a lot of people try and get their people to follow their business page by inviting their friends. But obviously, in doing so, it does start mixing business with pleasure, but it's a little faster way to build that following. So I think it's kind of a double-edged sword. You want to do it because it's faster, but at the same time, you want to keep business separate from personal. So
I agree. Yeah,
it is a fine line.
Sure.
Well, I think that's great advice. Jim, is there any last-minute comments you want to give? I know your time is short, and I feel like you've given us a lot of great jewels and gems. And how can people find you? How can they hire you for consulting? Because you do have a wealth of knowledge and experience. And I think for most people like myself, even though I've done this for 3 years, it does feel overwhelming in a lot of different times and stages of the development of a big box store does come knocking. How do you do it? How do you negotiate? And those are things I think you'd be very good at helping. So how can people get a hold of you, and how could they hire you? Okay, well, I mean, obviously, like you said, being on social media, like most businesses,
I could be found that way from a business perspective. So people could just, look it up. Or we know business.info. So that's my main website. So people can go there and, see how I'm able to help them.
Okay.
And they can reach out to the contact page and all that. So, yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay. So it's weknowbusiness.info.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, Jim, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Again, you have a lot going on, and you've helped a lot of businesses. And I know we've been friends now for several years, and I appreciate you helping me along the way and the journey that I've been on. And hopefully we'll continue to connect and support each other and hopefully help take both of our business to the next level.
Yes, absolutely. No, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. And you're listening to the Perky Collar Radio Show on WDRB Media, the home of the best information and motivation station. I hope you have a great day, and we'll be right back after the break.